Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
All right. Yes. So my name is Bada Pamilerin, and I'll be taking you guys on um let's say introduction to graphic design. Then we can move on to the advanced stage later. So I want to believe that we are all prepared and we are all here with our systems, probably our Jota, our bio, because we have to do some theoretical aspect before we move to the practical aspect. So I'll be taking you guys through the element of design and the principles of design first. So they are just like the rules and regulations or guidelines that will help you to know more and to be a professional graphic design. So it's not just about bringing a lot of element on the design, a lot of colors, and everything is just trying to figure out space on your design. You have to have some basic understanding about the elements and the principles of what this graphic design itself entails. So I'll be taking you guys through the element of design first and the principle of design. Fine. I would have asked you guys to introduce yourself, but I don't think that I can really manage that right now. But trust me, I know you guys. All right. So we're going to be moving to the element of design. Element of design. These are just like basic English that we've listened to, that we've heard, that we've seen, but probably we've not seen it that way, or we've not actually understood it that way in graphic design. And I used to say something to every of my students that whatever you're seeing or whatever you're hearing in graphic design is just English, but there might be like a twist to it in graphic design. But first, you have to understand it as a form of you just speaking the language, like just English language. There's not much to it, so we'll just dive into the class and understand how all these things works. Now, trust me, I'm not going to bore you with a lot of. These are just like the things that when you're about to cook and you want to cook a proper meal. Like say you want to cook jollof rice. Okay, you want to cook jollof rice and you need a lot of ingredients. So before you can successfully cook that jollof rice, yes, I know that our students we have a lot of ways that we can cook the jollof rice. You understand? But I'm talking about a proper jollof rice now. So there's a need for different spice, different the rice itself, and a lot of stuff just going on. So even though we are having a lot of ingredients, to cook this food, we also have a particular portion, the way they should be added. Do you get? So there are some meals that if you skip one process, then to get back to the original process will be very hard. You understand? So most times they might be like an additional way to do them, but it doesn't always work for everything. Do you understand? So even as a designer, the truth is you can have different way you can bring this spice together to cook whatever you are trying to cook. And please, when I'm saying cook, I'm just trying to bring it in a layman format that okay, so that you can understand that when you're designing, just like you're trying to cook something and you're bringing a lot of spice to it. Now, there's a notion that too much of everything is bad. It also applies to it that too much of your spice or whatever you're adding to your design too is also bad. So there must be like moderation in everything you're doing. There must be just a little. There are some elements that they will just come into play in just probably like 12% of your design, and there are some that will take like probably 50% of your design. So if you're giving the one that's supposed to take 50%, 10%, then you're doing the wrong thing. And if you're doing the other one also, this means that you're doing the wrong thing. So there's a need for us to really understand what this element of design really entails. And I'll just take us through this eight. We have the composition, we have the line, we have the shape, we have the form, we have the texture, we have the color, we have the value, we have the space. Okay, and we also have the imagery. I'll be adding that in the course of the class. I'll be adding that in the course of the class. We have the imagery. So there's a need for us to really understand what all of these elements really entail. Now, the first one I'm going to pick in is line. Now, line can be described as the building blocks of design. Lines can be continuous or broken, straight or curved, smooth or zigzag, and beyond, and are used for more than just outlines or dividing of content. For example, they can convey movement or talk together your composition. Now we understand that line. Every one of us who are students, we understand what line means. It can be a parallel line, it can be anyone. In fact, in design, it can be curved, it can be straight, it can be broken, it can be zigzagged or anything. It's just for you to like create a form of eyeline. You understand? Just for you to like try to create a form of eyeline. So I'll just kind of show us a design now where I've used that kind of element before. Now I need you to understand that the fact that I might be showing you a design now does not mean that that is how you should go with it. So I said that we are all chefs, we are all professionals. When we are designing and we are trying to cook something, means that okay, that is the way we want to cook it. So the way I might want to cook my rice might be different with the way Adela also wants to cook his rice. You understand? So it's just a different thing. But at the long run, the basic line is just for us to make sure that we are cooking the right thing and we are not just doing rubbish. You understand? So line is just a form of you trying to build block of design. You understand? So it can be zigzag, can be straight, or it can be curved. It's just for you to like divide the content that are on your design. So I'll show us like examples. So I just want to run through. I want to run through them so that I will not really bore us with these stuff. Now the next one is shape. The next one is shape. So just as I said earlier, they are just English words and they are things that we've worked with. I believe most of us are already working with Photoshop already. Most of us are designing already, you understand? So we understand what shape means. Now, shapes are often used to create your own, you create your own shapes. They can be geometric, or organic. Now, geometric means you're drawing with ruler or you're drawing with your computer, or organic, usually found in nature and drawn freehand. Now, when you're making your own shapes or designing a logo, don't forget to lean on your software to make sure the elements are properly aligned and symmetrical. So when we get to the principle of design, we'll talk about balance, which is the symmetrical and asymmetrical. But for the fact that we are talking about the element of design now, when we are on every design, there is no way you will not see shape. Most times it's always with rounded rectangle or probably a rectangle or probably a circle. Now in Photoshop we call it elliptical, but you can always call it a circle. So there's no way you are going to work on a design. There's no way I'm not going to work on a design and you will not work with shapes. Do you get? So shapes is just like a basic element that you're going to use when you're creating a design. All right. The next one is form. I'm trying to run through it because I want us to, as much as I want us to understand it as the basis of the skill we are about to learn, I also want us to understand, go through a little bit of stuff together. Now, the next one is form. Making your shape three-dimensional gives it form, which is another essential element of graphic design. Now, just like shape, you can have organic or geometric forms, and this create very different impacts. Geometric forms tends to convey order and can seem sterile, while organic form feels more natural. Now, when we talk about form, is sometimes you might not even use it in your design. Do you get? But when you're trying to create like a shape, a form of 3D on your design, that is when the form come to play. Do you understand? So it's just like shape. Most of these forms that we have, they come from them being just shapes. So it comes from just shape transforming or graduating into form. Now, there are sometimes that you see some shapes that are looking like they have back, they're having the other side, left and right. It's not that they just come to place like that. The cook or probably the chef or the designer must have something that he wants to point out with that kind of element, and that is what form is about. Now, you need to understand that for everything that is on a design, or for anything you're going to be putting on the design, must have meaning. You don't just dump anything on your design. Don't just put any element on your design. Do you understand? So, and the way we use these elements are very different. I'm a kind of person that love onions a lot. So I can add like 3 big onions in my food. Do you get? That is the way I want to cook it. That's the way I want to have my food. Another person might decide that no, you don't want to have onions. The major aspect is just that once we are giving you the food and you're eating it, it must be something really delicious and something up to taste. Do you get? So that is how these elements come to place. Just make sure that you do your own part of including these elements in your design. You understand? And I can assure you that your designs will come out very, very beautiful. Now the next one is texture. Now I'm very sure like every one of us can relate with all of these words. Okay, fine. Some might have like a little bit of meaning to it in designing, but you must have at some point say texture, probably clothes, texture of clothes, or a lot of stuff like that. So it's the same way, just like I said, it appears to designing. Now, the surface quality of a design is called texture, and it can bring another dimension to your piece. There are many ways to go about adding texture in graphic design, from making your own brushes to give texture to lines, to drawing your own patterns, using opacity marks to add grain texture or blending colors. Just be aware that adding texture to illustration often needs a lot of computer power, so you need to have access to the right, blah, blah, blah. Now, in this class, the tools we are going to be using, I believe that every one of us know that we're going to probably be using Photoshop, and maybe for the advanced class that wants to go into logo designing, we'll be diving into Adobe Illustrator. But what's the essence of having these tools and not knowing like the right things to do there? So when we're talking about adding texture to your design, there's some designs that you see that naturally they're just soft. They appeal to your senses. You understand? Like you just feel it. I don't know if you're falling in love with a particular design yourself. You just see the design, you fall in love with it. Now, the way the surface is, there are some designs that can be rough. Yes, you can design a particular flyer and it will look rough. It's not that the design is. It's not like the old design itself is rough. Like the face, the surface, probably you're adding noise to it, but there's a particular thing the designer is like trying to bring out. Now, recently I've been adding noise to my design because it just gives some kind of feel to it. Though I'm not adding too much to it, but when you see it, you notice that there's something on this design that is making it look like a bit rumpled or something. But that's like the latest trend in graphic design now. So that's like another part of you adding texture to your design. So all of these things come to play. You just have to add, a little bit of this, a little bit of this, a little bit of this, and you are giving us a very good design together. Now, the other part of them all is color. Now, you might think your options are infinite when it comes to choosing the color palette. I need to tell you this for everyone that is in this class and for everyone that is learning graphic design. You are open to more than 1,000 color combinations. I can tell you. So I tell it to you today that as a graphic designer, there's no way you don't know how to combine colors. So at this point, if you think you don't know how to combine color, I give you just like, okay, a commitment or consistency of 1 month in graphic design, you know how to combine colors. They show me a good graphic designer that doesn't know how to combine colors, and I'll show you does not have a basic understanding of what the element of design means. So we have a lot of color palette. You have more than 1,000 types of color that you can use. Yes, you think all those are shabilities that say pepper gold, pepper Tinubu green, or what have you. You have a lot. In fact, just red itself, for those that are working in Photoshop, just red itself has a lot of different shades of red that you can never imagine to get. But as much as this color, as much as they have them at your disposal, is a very key element that once you go wrong in your choose of color, then your design is off. So there's some kind of color that you have to use for some designs that you can't use on some other designs. Do you understand? So colors also have meaning. Colors have meaning. That's why you see different bands working with different colors. It's not like they don't like other colors. It's because that to them, that particular color have a meaning. Now you cannot see, it will be an ISO for Coke to use green. It will be an ISO for Coke to use green because according to their brand, according to their brand guideline, they needed something that will catch the face of the audience very, very fast. Now, red is a very sharp color. It has different meaning. For your design, red can be a sense of power, a sense of strength, alertness. So that is like red. Now, when you are looking at a brand like what's the name of this brand now? OP. When you check OP and all of those fintech banks, they have a particular type of color that they use, and you are doing that they don't use more than 2 colors, maybe green and black, possibly maybe green and black, maybe red and black, maybe blue and black, or even blue and different shades of blue. That is them still trying to work around their colors. Now, for every design you're going to make, the highest number of colors you should use that I recommend is two. Once you're able to work with two, once you're able to manage two, then if you are okay, you want to flex your muscle as a professional, adding another one will not be a problem. Do you get? So most of my designs I still work with two. Now, when you're using color in the design, you have either one color or I'll call it a shouting color. Now, for every design, you must have one color that can accept or swap, like that can accept different elements. Now, one example of that color is black, deep brown, wine. Those colors can accept a lot. In fact, even blue, there are some deep shade of blue that once you put them, it can accept different colors. So it gives you the opportunity to work with yellow, opportunity to work with orange, opportunity to work with pink. That's why you see different designs like it's having a shade of blue, but they can still work with it with yellow, pink, and a lot of colors that can come in because one is dull and one is shouting. Now it is necessary for you to have that one that is dull so that it can accommodate and give precise judgment to that light shouting one that is coming. Do you get it? So you take the shouting one as a saucy lady. Let me use that. Sorry for the ladies in the class. And you're taking the one color as the calm guy. Now, in everything that the saucy lady is about to do on that design, the calm guy will be there to say, no, that just calm down. Just calm down. Do you get? So when you are working with, let's say, black and yellow, yellow can be so like they are just so dominant in the design, and you see black trying to swallow a little bit of their pride, just to make sure that whatever you are cooking does not turn to burnt offering. Because when you have a lot of yellow just bouncing around on your design, then you might actually want to consider another skill, because I'm sure that your clients will not take that from you. Yes, so as a designer, when you're working with color, you have to work with just two color. At least for a start, you work with one warm color and you work with one shouting color. That is why you see different ones work with green and white. They work with black and light blue. They work with brown and orange. It gives that complementary nature to it, and they are not going out of whatever they are doing. And just like I said, every color have their own meaning in design. Yes, color have their own meaning in the design. So you might also want to read about the art of color and know, okay, what is this color meant for? What is it? What is the meaning of this color? Do you understand? So, it will be I don't know if we all saw the cyanide design that was made, the cyanide design. It will be an eyesore for the designer to have used yellow or used maybe pink, because it might not give a proper definition of that event. But when you are seeing red, you are seeing alertness, even on the fire that is associated with the meat that is on that flyer, it's giving the red vibe. When you are seeing red, I think every one of us here in this class will know that when we are seeing red, we are seeing seriousness, something very serious, like no bowling. Do you get? So that's the kind of vibe that it gives to it. Imagine that now that design was made with probably a brown and just any other color, it will kill the vibe of the design itself. And for your design, when you're designing, you're just like a minister trying to minister, and your introduction or probably your guidelines itself, it's nothing to write about. You lose your audience. Do you get? So most times as designers, probably for brands or for churches or for different organizations we are working with, we serve as the first person that have interaction with the client. We serve as the first person that have interaction with the visitor or even the members that are coming to church. Do you get? Because apart from the fact that we get the topic first, we also bring in our creativity to minister to the members. Do you get? So when you're having something like the second coming of Christ, and the designer is able to actually interpret that topic to something creative, and is sending it out, and the members are seeing it, from you or from your members seeing that flyer, trust me, they're already having a sense, or they're already having an understanding of what they might want to meet in the mouth of the pastor or the minister the next coming Sunday, or probably the dates for the event, because you've been able to carefully interpret what the ministers want, or what your boss want, or what your clients want, so that by the time the target audience or the customers are saying it, they're having a glimpse. So if there will be any misunderstanding, then the minister or whoever can come in to now explain. So you will see that when you see some nice design and you can resonate with it, and probably church design, and you get to the program, when they are speaking or when they are trying to explain it, your mind will wander a bit to the design, and you're trying to lock it together to connect. Okay, this is what this person is trying to do. This is what you understand. So it will be an eyesore for you to be going to an Holy Ghost conference design. Do you get? And there's nothing like fire or there's something like dead on your design. No, what are you doing? Are we? Do you get? So that is by the way, but when we are talking about color. So the next one that's also as important as color is typography. It's typography, like typography. Now, many designs include some kind of copy on them, which means typography is another basic element of graphic design that you need to understand. It can be a challenge to get the balance between setting the tone with a stylized font and using something that everyone can digest. Now, I need to let you know that there are different types of typography. Now, there's a type of typography used for children comics. The type of typography that you use probably for Lion King and all of those stuff. There's a type of font you use for an official work. There's a type of font you use for church flyers design. There's a type of font you use for, a lot. So typography itself speaks about your design. There are sometimes that I use a stylized font, like probably all the signature font or vintage fonts. Do you understand? So they have their own parts to play. It is very, very different. So you have to understand what typography itself means. And I need to tell you that even as a designer, I have close to like 5,000 fonts on my system, but I still have like one that I use that is always dominant on my design. That's Odessa. For everybody that have worked with me or have seen me knows that I work with Odessa. Now I'm trying to move to Canit or Poppins. Now the reason is because most of the brand I work with now, they are official, and Odessa does not really come to play in that kind of design. Do you get? So when you see some fonts, you understand the seriousness of that. This one is business. We are not playing here. Do you get? We are not playing in this place. But when you see some comics design, you will notice that their font is stylish. You can play around with it and okay, this one is there's no much tension in this one. Do you understand? So you have to understand your design, what you're trying to prepare, what you're trying to send out to your clients, what you're trying to send out to your audience, and the kind of font that you're going to use. You don't just use any font. It's just like you're trying to say that okay, I love you. Okay, trying to bring typography and color into place together now. You're trying to say I love you. Do you get? And you're using red for I love you. Okay, fine. I'm not saying that you cannot use it for I love you, but you now come to use a font. There's a kind of font I have on my system that is blood dripping font. And now I love you, now blood dripping font. And you now send it to your girlfriend. What are you trying to pass across? Is it that your love now is like Jesus Christ that will die for her or something? Do you get it? So you're trying to pass a particular information, or you're trying to say, I will see you, or see you soon. Okay, let's say see you soon. And you're typing it in the red color, and you're giving it a type of font that the blood is dripping. I am very sure that person will get you arrested. You're giving it another font. There are different types of font. There are love fonts that you see when you're typing it. It even have this heart emoji on it. And you said, see you soon. Even if that's not even if you just have a church mind kind of feelings through this person, just with that kind of message you've sent and the font and the color, complementing each other, the person would have already cooked a lot of sins on his or her head. Now, I'm not trying to teach you rubbish. What I'm just trying to let you know is that your font, your typography, and the color works hand in hand. Now, as important that you can't use like more than 2 color on your design for a start, it is also important for you to know that when you're working with typography, you have to use just 2. Yes, that is how you build discipline. You understand? So you use just 2. Now I can show you a lot of my design that I only work with 2 fonts. Now the twist to it is that most fonts have different families. So it's just like when we are talking about the media family now, we have AIB as our chief, we have Bamjaz, we have Adelaya as the chief of graphic design, my boss, we have Caleb, we have Diplomat. They are big in their own size. And you have someone like me that is thin. Now, for most fonts have that kind of family. They have extra bold, they have black, they have semi bold, we have medium, we have light, we have thin, we have semi thin. Now you can classify me in that thin. Now you can put, let's say, okay, let's put Adulayo in semi bold. I'm using Adulayo because these are people that you guys can resonate with there. So let's say, okay, who's there again? Similarly in the audio part, let's say, okay, let's give him semi bold. Semi bold, you understand? Let's give him semi bold. And we are giving Caleb like big bold. So we have different families of font like that. Now, this font has given you the opportunity to work with thin, light, semi bold, medium, and what have you. So you will see, even me in the design, I can work with just one font. And the reason I'm just doing is that, okay, maybe my headline I'm working with bold, and others are just medium, semi bold here, and maybe light in this place. Do you get? So I'm still trying to work, and I'm still disciplined in working with just one font. So once you're having a lot of typography just bouncing over here and there, it does not communicate how a good design should be. So there are some designs that you don't need something serious. You just need something that will just call the vibe, something stylish, and that will bring that vibe into the design. You understand? So that will be more explained in the course of the class. Now, I'm sorry. All right. Now, when we talk about imagery, this is like another part of it. Now, I need you to understand that every of the elements I've mentioned, they are important. But you see, color, imagery, typography, and space. Please don't joke with them. Now, imagine you using okay, let's not say let me not give that kind of example now. Most times on our church designs, you notice that we represent the topic with most times image of what that topic means itself. So it's just like to pass message in a more effective way, in a way that our viewers or our audience can resonate with. Now, it should be an eyesore for you to go and use someone laughing. You're using someone laughing on a wake keeping flyer. So your experience in using image to design or in your design process goes a long way. Like, it goes a long way. Now, you also need to understand as designers that you are the one cooking. You were paid to cook something. So your client has paid you, or probably your church has paid you, any one of it. So whatever you're cooking, you also have to put the interest of the client in mind. That, okay, this is what the client wants to be. Now, there was a time that Sabino's picture was used on Gala flyer. Now, the company was flagged by Sabino's management, and they threatened to take them to court because they used his image without him knowing about it. He's not the ambassador or anything, but they are using his image. Do you understand? And at the time you being used, you are doing well. You are doing well on by Mr. Macaroni, and they were flagged. Now, that one is even about words. Now, but when we talk about imagery, that of Sabino's, it means that you don't just use any image for design. Yes, you don't just use any image for design. Now, we have stock images that at least every one of us have seen those people on design before. You would have seen them. They are like probably 3 guys and 2 ladies like that. There's no design that you would not have seen them. You would have come across graphics and are using them a lot because they are stock images. They are free. They are just models that release their pictures to be used by graphic designers. Now, when you are trying to choose image, they must be relevant. They must convey the right message and tone, and they must also look authentic. Do you get? So even when you are designing something, you don't have to use a very low resolution picture because it will spoil your design. It will spoil your design. So when you are working and you are working with the right dimension of picture, it will really aid your design. Give it meaning. So most times your client or the wording that are your design might not even be the one that the audience want to see. They just want to see what is happening. I don't know if you can see my screen. Can I get feedback? If you
Yes, sir, we can see it.
All right. Okay. Now you will notice that apart from the fact that the lady on this flyer is beautiful and the guy there is looking nice, without even looking at the name of the brand, without looking at what they're into, you can have like 50% glimpse of what the brand is all about. Now you might just be confused, probably they are unisex salon, probably barbing or hairdressing, but that is when you now have to refer back to the write up. But you can see that the pictures that were used are passing a particular meaning. Like they are passing a particular meaning to the audience. Now imagine that I use like a low resolution picture for the image or the design now. That will be the first thing the audience will see first, or probably the people that are viewing it will see first. And some people will not even bother to check the service or whatever that is on the flyer. It's just that picture that they will be, that'll be like their turn off. It happens to me. So when I see some designs and I just look at the picture, I just scroll away. Like, what is this rubbish? Do you get? But when the picture is giving that vibe itself and you are feeling it, then you can now go back to check what is there. So that is the importance of using image. That's the importance of using image in your design. That's the importance of using image in your design. So I will just move down to the last one. I'm not the last one. I also have another call to jump on from the office. So the next one after imagery. So we've talked about phone texture, form, shape, the typography, the color, imagery. So now the last one that we're going to be discussing about is shape. Space. Sorry. When we're talking about space, it's just like, have you wondered why, apart from Corona, have you wondered why there's always space in the church? Like space. There's a particular space from the choir. Thank you, Holy Spirit. There's a particular space from the choir seats. I mean the choristers at church to the pastor's seat. Now there's a particular space also from the gallery to where pastors and the ministers are sitting. So it would be an eyesore if pastors is sitting directly in front of that pulpit and there is no space, there is no breathing space. It will be also a great mistake if the choirs are also sitting probably on the altar and a lot of them are just clustering over there. The reason why space is needed in design is to give your elements a definite position on your design. It's just like for you to give your elements like, okay, I want you to move like this, I want you to stay like this. Now, we have negative spaces, we have positive spaces. I'll explain that to us with the use of designs. Now, you can be really creative with this. It is possible to use positive space in a way that we see it as your eyes track down the design, or to draw the eye towards the shape in the background negative space. Now, taking you away from all of this English and every other stuff, the thing is just that you have to let them breathe. Like let them breathe. You don't just jam pack things together. There are a lot of designs that even you cannot read it. You cannot read it like truly. Why? Because the designer have decided to just jam pack everything together, and there is no space. Everything is just clustering together, and even the designer himself, I'm sure that even the designer himself cannot read what he has done. But imagine that in this like this slide I'm showing you, and you can the space between them, the space within them. Now, I'm trying to edit it. Maybe I'm trying to edit. Okay, let me see. Now, the same way it appears to it in Microsoft packages, the same way it also appears to it in your design process. Now, this is different. This is different from the one that it was before. Now, you can still be able to read this very well. Do you get? So, and as a designer, you have to put it into interest that you don't know your target audience who will read it, because you know a long-sighted person can read, a short-sighted person can read your design or come across your design. And there's no, obviously everyone can be your client, everyone can be your customer at some point. So you have to put them also in your design process. So when you're creating a design, you have to know that okay, both someone that can see from afar and both someone that can not see from afar must be able to resonate with this design. So when you add space to your design, it gives it breathing space. They can call attention separately. So when you get to the principle of design, you will see what is it called now? You will see it's not alignment, hierarchy. There's a place hierarchy come to play. You understand? So when when I start explaining how those hierarchy works, then you realize that this space is really important. So it's just like you do your headline space from the other smaller part of your design. So just for you to be able to track down your client or your audience reading process or the movement of your design. Now, I know that I'm speaking a lot of English and it might be sounding really strange, or you're not really understanding it. Trust me, I was like that when I started reading this stuff too, but I will open a lot of my designs to you guys to see and to really resonate with everything I'll be saying this morning. Now, in a nutshell, element of designs are just your Maggi, your salt, your sugar, your spice, your oil, your time that you are planned. You plan to use it to cook something. So whatever you're cooking, the outcome is your design. Now, you ask me that okay, you are just cooking, you are cooking. There is something that needs to be put on the fire. That is probably your pot or anything. That is your tool. Probably your Photoshop, your corridor, or whatever they are using. So you see that everything works hand in hand. All right. So I will just like kind of show some of my designs that I've done, and we'll try to resonate with the typography. And I just want to let me go with church flyer designs. Let me check my church flyer designs and what I've done. Okay. So I'll just share my screen with you guys so that we can. So I will just. Can we all see my screen? Can we all see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Now, this topic was done in church. I was trying to work on something different, just trying to think outside the box. That's why I just had to come up with this design. Trust me, this is the first time another person is seeing this design on my system. See, so it's just one that is in my archive. Now, when we're talking about, we've talked about color, we've talked about imagery, we've talked about typography, we've talked about shape, we've talked about form. Now, it's so funny that I didn't use any shape on this design, one, but I'm very sure you're going to see typography. Now, the Jesus and second is having one form of typography. Coming is having another typography. While every other designs is having the same typography. Now, I mentioned something I was talking about typography, that I use a particular type of typography a lot, and is the one that is working with this one, this Wednesday, and is also working with Pastor Darius' name and the rewards, and all of this coming together. Now, it is very simple. I said the other time that you should use just two fonts, two typography, yes, because you are just starting and you might not be able to manage it well. But as a young boy professional that I am, as trying to be, so most times you get to work with paid typography. You get to work with paid typography in the sense that we are having Jesus' second coming. So I don't want to just have the coming after the second. It wasn't looking nice when I was designing it. So that's why I had to opt in for this stylish font. and it came out very nice. Now you will notice that every okay, we know that every of the font that I use have their own meaning and the reason why it was used. Now you understand the spacing also that I explained to us. I explained spacing to us also, and you will see it come into play. I explained color, and you see that the color I use brown is also the color of the suitcase, and I just picked my color from the two suitcase that is on my design. So I used only just two colors, okay, 2.5 fonts, because that one cannot be called one, but 2.5 fonts. And I'm sure that okay, my imagery was also spot on. My imagery is also spot on. You can see that okay, Jesus' second coming. It might be different from the one that you might probably have been thinking. Maybe you see someone coming on the horse, Jesus coming, and all of those angels. But this one is just like me thinking outside of the box, and that's what a car is coming with. That's why I have to tag one with words, and I'm tagging one with time. So the imagery itself is like it's giving an explanation of what I'm trying to say. The someone is coming with words. So that's just me playing outside of the box, and just one of my mentors would say, think like there's no box. You get, so when it comes to design, you think like there's no box. You own your creativity, and you should be able to explain them. Do you get? So this is what imagery, color, typography. This is what they entail. So we know that about the composition, the line, the shape, the form, the texture, the color, the space, and imagery. Imagery was also used like in the course of the class. You get, so I would love to move on to the principles of design itself, because they are like two different things. So, but I would just want to introduce us to the interface itself. I want to introduce us to the interface. All right, can we all see my screen? Welcome to Photoshop. Can we all see it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. Now this is like our kitchen. This is like our kitchen. Yes, this is where every of those nice works that you're going to be creating, this is where they come. This is where they come on. So depending on your version of Photoshop, this is how it's going to say. These tools are things we use in our day-to-day designing. So it depends on whatever you're going to be designing. Now I need to tell you that a graphic design is just like a family name. There's UI UX under graphic design. There's flyer design. There's book cover design. There's magazine design. There's logo design. There's brochure design. Like there's lots. So even as you are trying to approach graphic design, I need to also, every one of us to also like have it at the back of our mind that we're going to have a niche. And when I mean a niche, it means that one thing that you're going to focus on, really, yes, because it will help you. Now, I have friends that are flyer designs, bad as flyer design, but they still come to me to learn how to create a logo, because I am a logo designer, I'm a brand identity designer. And also, yes, I might try to input my professionalism into flyer design, but it is not like standard as how they are going to do their own. You get? So every one of us have our own, where we flex our power. So you understand? Now, every of these tools, we just have to have understanding of them. But most times you might not even get to work with all of them in space of maybe 5 works they are going to do. But it's just essential for us to have to know the meaning of what these tools entails. Now, the first one here is the move tool, the drop tool. The move tool or drop tool. Move tool. Let me use move tool because of most of that are going to be using a lesser version. Move tool. Now, when you are working on the design, for the ability of you to be able to move around other elements. I hope when I'm saying elements now, we've talked about elements that they can be shaped, they can be lined, they can be colored. So when you are working on each design of your element, the drop tool is always essential in the sense that when you are working with any tools on this toolbar, you can't move to use another one without dropping it, the design. Now, I was explaining the other time that when you open your Photoshop, it's going to bring it out that is the place you are going to cook. Now, for you cannot just be cooking on the floor. The place, the portion where you're going to work on your design is called canvas. It's called canvas. Now, we have a lot of shortcuts for Photoshops. We have a lot of shortcuts on Photoshop. Sorry. So I believe I'll get the shortcut across to us so that we can know it. So for creating a new canvas is Control N. I want to click on Control N give you. All right. So I will just do a quick recap and summary of everything that has been said thus far, so we can all get back to know everything we've done. Yeah. So let me just say, we are all professionals in making. That's just the truth. Yes. And in graphic design, everyone is an important factor. You designing, the client that is giving you the job, and the target audience you're trying to speak with. Now, you are bringing in your expertise as a graphic designer into bring it to making the job a nice one and a good one. Your client is paying you for your experience, your professionalism, and your time that you'll be bringing into the work, while the target audience is waiting for something nice and beautiful to see. Now, this is like a process, and in school, we realize that communication or information is not yet passed if the receiver cannot decode and explain or understand what the sender is trying to pass across. And we also understand that there must be a need for feedback. You get. So the feedback cannot be negative or positive, but there's a need for feedback. Now, everything of what I'm saying still lies on the fact that every of the elements that we've talked through today, the composition, the line, the shape, the form, the texture, the color, the imagery, and the space, the typography, they are very, very important. I will share the slide with you guys. I will send it on the group, and I will send it to AI also, so we can all go through it. And we can always go to other designs that we've seen and try to look at the way the designers try to balance all of this up to you get. So I think in subsequent class I'll take us on the principles of design. So it is only when you understand this part very well, that is when we'll be able to effectively work diligently when we move to the physical or the practical aspect. Do you understand? So I want us to really understand this, the theoretical aspects, because even me as a person, I started with just the practical and I was just doing a bunch of rubbish. It was looking nice until, I got to an interview like 3 years ago and they were just asking me a lot of theoretical stuff about graphics, and I was like, yeah, I don't know all these things, but just give me time to design. I'll bring it out for you. Say no, if you don't know the theory aspect, how are we sure that you can be good in the practical aspect? So, rounding off and in conclusion, graphic design is very simple and it's the best design, it's the best skill that you can learn. Yes, it's coming from me, and trust me, it's very simple when you give your time to it. It will take your time. It will take your time a lot. So at the moment, graphic design is like my girlfriend. I devote all of my time to it. I give it attention and everything that it wants. Everything. I'm always in my system. 20 hours out of the 24 hours. That's because you kind of create a kind of relationship with it. So for everyone that be working with Photoshop, you agree with me that the number of time you spend with your system on Photoshop that's how much value you gain. You learn something on your own. You see different stuff that this is how this thing works. So you get, because some things are not taught, some things are caught. All right. So I will send the slides to the group for those that are online. I'll also send it to AI so that it can share among us so we can read. You understand? And I'll probably share the next one so that I'll be discussing the principle of design so we can read ahead also and we come to class. My class, I'm just taking it today because it's an introductory class. People talk in my class, you ask questions. Yes, because that is what the class is meant to be. Someone's supposed to talk and someone's supposed to receive feedback. So I'll be sending those two stuffs ahead so that at least tomorrow we'll be able to get something nice. And I promise you tomorrow class will be nice. I'll be at my office. So all of these nights that are coming in will not interfere. So thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Very much, Mr. Pamilerin.